So, with it being official now, Vince is back within WWE. There are a few things to get to. Number one being that no changes are to be made at this point to the current management staff, which means Stephanie, Nick, and Paul will stay in their current positions as co-CEOs and head of creative, respectively. Or I believe that Triple H may also be considered head of talent relations. I'm not really sure. But he has more than one title, I'm pretty sure. But as of yesterday, with the meeting that was at SmackDown, WWE, for obvious reasons, tried to present a cohesive and together front in the eyes of not just the executives, but talent themselves, as a way to pose a better, pose a, I guess, try and make the best of a bad situation. Because, fact of the matter is, Vince put them in a bad position. Vince put WWE in a very bad position based on the fact that Vince basically said, either you let me back with the company or any negotiations you do, whether it's for the sale of the company or media rights, I'm going to block it and not let you put it through. So let me back in, or I'm going to keep your hands tied, and you will not be able to do anything that you want to do on that front without me, because it's not going to happen without me. Because I think that Vince sees either, the potential with the media rights deals and the potential with the sale of the company to sit there and say, look, I can benefit from this, and I'm not going to lose my opportunity to benefit from the company when we choose to sell the promotion. And I mean, to say that Vince isn't an astute businessman, with everything that happened aside, pushing everything that happened to one side, Vince is an astute businessman. He knows what he's doing on that front. He built WWE and all that stuff. But to say, for lack of a better word, to say that Nick and Steph would not be able to handle it, I think taking that approach would be wrong, and that they would be more than capable of handling it. But I do think having Vince there would help. And there is a possibility that WWE could go private again. I think of all the possibilities, that is the least likely possibility because of how expensive it is to take a company private again. But, I think, as a lot of people have said, that if Vince keeps himself out of creative permanently and is just here to help with the negotiations for a potential sale and the media rights deals, and then after that is done, he goes away and disappears, then him coming back is not as bad as people made it seem. It is unfortunate, and maybe it's something that they should have dealt with at the time, where they should have tried to get wrestle controlling share, take the controlling shares of the company away from him, if they possibly could have. But with the position that they're in now and their hands being tied, the only thing they could have did was, listen to what Vince had to say. And what Vince had to say was, let me back in or you're screwed. Simple as that. So WWE was painted into a corner, or put into a corner by Vince, and they did what they had to do. The one thing that I would point out is that, there's no indication from PW Insider. There was no indication from them that Vince will be at the shows or will be at WWE HQ, because technically, as a member of the board of directors, he doesn't need to be there every day. He doesn't need to be at every show. He doesn't need to be a part of the company to the degree that he was a part of the company when he ran the day-to-day operations of the company. That job now rests on the shoulders of Nick Khan and Stephanie McMahon. That's it. Vince doesn't need to be there every day. So the PW Insider report suggests that Vince would basically maintain his spot as a member of the board of directors, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Which, again, it is unfortunate, and I think WWE would have been in a better position, having Vince's assistance in this negotiation does help, but I don't think it was necessary for them to have it, or that they lost out on something if they would have lost out on something had they not had it. But that's just my opinion. But based on what we're hearing right now, it does 100% seem like Vince is just going to be a member of the board of directors, and that's it. I pray that maybe there was a compromise that they put in place to say that that if Vince wants to return, that they kept with what he said in his letter, saying that he was wanting to return to assist with the media rights deal and a potential sale of the company. And that's it. And that they worked it in and said, look, as what you said in the deal, you did not say anything about being a part of the day-to-day operations of WWE or the creative direction of the promotion. Therefore, you are not welcomed to be a part or not needed to be a part of said directive within the company, because that is where your ability ends. And that our compromise with you was this, that, and the other thing. And that's it. I think a compromise in this situation would have helped WWE and would have done nothing but make allow the company to have a cop-out, if you want to call it that, to better position them to avoid something like what happened in July from happening again, or to disallow Vince from inhibiting the most important time of the year for the company. Because this is by far the worst possible time for this to happen, with WrestleMania on the horizon. But as reported by CNBC and in an article from EW Wrestling News or eWrestling News, CNBC has an article looking at the return of Vince McMahon to WWE, and the report says that WWE has hired J.P. Morgan to advise the company on a potential sale. 3 categories of potential buyers for WWE are legacy media companies, streamers, and entertainment holding companies. The report speculates the following companies might be interested in purchasing WWE: Fox, Comcast, Warner Brothers, Discovery, Amazon, Disney, Endeavor Group Holdings, and Liberty Media. Liberty Media is, I believe, with the Braves, is the parent company of the Atlanta Braves baseball team. Warner Brothers and Discovery are together. Fox already has an investment in WWE, as does, surprisingly, NBC Universal isn't here. Surprisingly, NBC Universal is not listed, but Warner Brothers and Discovery is. And I'm seeing it now. It's actually Warner Brothers Discovery. It is not where Warner Brothers and Discovery are listed as 2. They're listed as 1 on this list. So that would be interesting because of the, fact that Warner Brothers Discovery is currently the home of AEW on TNT and TBS. Disney, Amazon, and Disney and Amazon have their um, Disney and Amazon have their streaming services, and Endeavor Group Holdings is an American holding company for talent and media agencies with its primary offices in Beverly Hills, California. The company was founded in 2009 after a merger with William Morris Agency, the original Endeavor talent agency. Endeavor represents artists in film, television, and music, theater, digital media, and publishing. It also represents the NFL and NHL. Endeavor owns the UFC. It is headed by Ari Emanuel and executive chairman Patrick Whitesell. The group used to own film and television production company Endeavor Content, but sold a majority stake in that division to South Korean entertainment and retail company CJENM in January 2022, with the company subsequently being renamed to Fifth Season. So it would also be interesting if Endeavor Group Holdings, which is one of the listed companies, purchased WWE, because then one company would own both WWE and the UFC. But this aspect of it, the last part of the report from EWE Wrestling News says WWE would like for a sale to take place before mid 2023, when the TV rights renewal negotiations will also take place. So it is possible that right after WrestleMania, we could start hearing rumors about a potential sale of WWE. And this is not going to go away anytime soon, especially with JP Morgan being brought on to advise the company on a potential sale. This is something that may not go away anytime soon. And by the midpoint of 2023, we could be talking about a potential sale of WWE to one of the companies listed above. I will put this article in the description below, and I will also link the CNBC article in the description below. But let me know your thoughts on everything and anything that I talked about in this in this video, and I will see you a little bit later for another news video, because we got more to talk about not relating to Vince McMahon. Either way, I will see you in the next one.